You will never know what I'm about to say. You never knew what happened that day. But you're about to find out. It's story time.
What up, y'all? It is I, Remix Reek, and this Panache Talk podcast. And I'm about to do something I ain't doing in a while. You guessed it. Story time. Alright, so this story time is about the first charge I ever been charged with. Yeah. So the first charge I ever got in life was it was a gun charge, and it was in Washington, DC. So it was January 2012. I was in my first career of rapping, and I got charged with a gun charge. My very first charge, by the way. Never got caught doing anything in my juvenile or anything. Like, I'm gonna tell you one thing about me. Like, me, I always been wise. I always hung around mostly smart people. But the difference between smart and wise, I'm about to tell you right now. A smart person, they learn from their mistakes, right? Okay, cool. You do it again, then you're a dummy. But a wise person, they learn from other people's mistakes. Easy way to stay out of jail, y'all. Learn from others, assess what they do, and don't do it. And if you're in that lifestyle, learn from it and don't get caught. And I'm not even encouraging that, but some people got to do what they got to do to they get to where they need to be. Like, for example, me, I'm a strong believer in you know doing what you got to do to get what you need to be. Like, if you're doing something wrong, um, don't do it forever. Don't try to make a career. Anything that comes fast, get your money, set it up to something you could do legitimately, and then get out of there. But let's get into the story. Okay, it's in DC. I'm around my hood. I'm from a hood called 44th.
That bike, I got good gas by the O. Need something, just put on the force. Got that bag looking sweet and it's
It's in Northeast DC, off of Benner Road and in between Minnesota Avenue. So it's a Wednesday, and if back in 2012, Tuesday and Thursdays are jump out days. And a jump out is basically undercover police, that would ride around different hoods that would jump out on you and see if you got any drugs or any guns, or, if you're doing anything illegal. Basically, I feel like it's illegal to do that. Like, they don't go around the suburbs and jump out on people randomly asking to frisk and search like that. That was some crazy times. And in 2012, I'm trying to think of how old it was. I think I was either like 22. Yeah, I believe I was. Yeah, 2012. I was 22 years old. Yep. So I caught my first charge at 22 years old. I was wise enough to stay out of them people way, for a long time, and got my first charge at 22. But anyway, back to the jump out thing. Tuesdays and Thursdays in DC, everybody knew it was jump out day. So it was Wednesday, so it wasn't a jump out day. And it was also raining. Like, when it's raining, people tend to not worry about the police will jump outs because they don't come outside when it's raining. But not this day. It all started when I had a friend knock on my door named Turtle. All right, so Turtle's from around my way, and I used to tell this man all the time, "Do not knock on my door, cuz. Like, call me. Don't knock on my door. Call me." And he surprised me, knock on my shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, what you doing? Woo, mother, bruh." I was in the house chilling. I swear to God, I don't think that would have ever happened to me. I would never got this gun charge if He would have never knocked on my door, but it is what it is. But he knocked on the door, so I come outside, and he like, yeah, let's walk down to the liquor store. So we about to go get some liquor or whatever, some chill shit. Um, so I had on back then what was popular. What's these shoes called? The Duncans, the Tim Duncans, the silver ones. Everybody wanted them, and I had on the new Helly Hansen ski pants, the hoodie, the hat, and the coat. And we walking down the street. In DC, people like to rob you for what you got, like phones or the new North Faces back then, or coats or whatever. People rob people for coats and shoes back then. So you know what I bring? I bring my protection with me. Not to go looking for trouble, not to go kill anybody. It's just to protect myself, just in case. That's the whole reason why I had it, to protect myself. But okay, so we walking down the street to walk to the liquor store. It's a couple of blocks from where I live. And we walking down 44th Street. On the way of walking down 44th Street, this man, Turtle, is saying, hey to everybody like he's the president. Hey, what's up, bro? And so we ended up on a certain street, 44th and a certain cross street, and he stops traffic to talk to somebody in a car. Okay, me, I keep walking. There's no point in me, fraternize, loitering right there, stopping traffic, because behind him, while he's talking to the person in the car, is another car waiting to go, and another car behind it. So I'm walking, keep it pushing, keep it moving. Ain't no point in me stopping traffic. Not thinking nothing of it or anything. Um, but soon as he finished talking to such and such in the car, that car turns, keep it moving. It's another car behind it, keeps it moving, and I see Turtle running up to catch up with me. But in the midst of all that, I see an unmarked car. And it's like, we automatically know it's police. We only know that, like, I put it like this: a regular person that's probably visiting Washington, D.C., or from the suburbs wouldn't know that's the police. But me being from the area I'm from, I know it's police, even though it's an unmarked car, and it could look like a regular car. But no, I know it's police. And in my head, I'm like, these is jump outs. What are they doing riding around on Wednesday? It's not jump out day. Jump out day is Tuesdays and Thursdays. And in my head, I just know they about to fuck with me, and he's running up to me. And in the midst of me walking, I see another friend, John. He's right there. Turtle's running up behind me, and I'm telling Turtle, I'm like, bruh, you was holding up traffic. The police was right there behind you. And he's like, not thinking nothing of it, because ain't nobody thinking nothing of it. They just thinking we about to get pressed out. Pressed out means, harassed by the police. They thinking we about to get pressed out, which is normal, because that's what the police do. They invade our rights every day for being black in a neighborhood, in a poor neighborhood. That's what they do. And we didn't break any laws or anything. We're walking, minding our business, have no reason to bother us. But I tell Turtle, I was like, police, he not really thinking nothing of it. But I am in my heart. I'm like, my adrenaline, because I know what they about to do. And John ain't thinking nothing of it. And I'm like, bruh, I got the dog on me. So at that point, it's like, oh my God. You know what the police do? They shine like a red beam on us. And back then those were rumors of gun detectors. I still not sure if that's a real thing or not. So if it was, maybe it was detecting that I had one, or but they was like, hey, show me your waistband. And I'm like, what? I'm not doing anything. John, like they pressing us out. Like, bro, just show him your waistband. I word to him, bro. I got it on me. You know what I'm saying? I got it on me. And he's like, oh shit. His whole face changed. And Turtle was looking like, oh. And I was like, he like, hey, show me your waistband. So I do like unzipping my coat and like, man, I don't got nothing on me. Like, why y'all bothering us? We ain't do nothing. We just walking. I'm going to the store to cash my check. I had a little check, man. Had a little unemployment check. Yeah, I was getting unemployment back then from this little job that I worked. Man, I used to work at a grocery store. I used to work at that joint for like 2 years. This joint called Safeway. Fuck you, Safeway. They fucking fired my ass. So fuck you, Safeway. And I got so I was getting unemployment from that job. Anyway, in the midst of all of this, unzipping my coat. Let me put my phone on do not disturb, y'all. It's story time. Do not disturb the storyteller. You hear me? So I unzipping my coat and like, man, what? I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? The joint on my waist, you can't see it, it's not visible. But at this point, they getting out and they live it now. They showing aggression. Show me your waistband, lift your shirt up, woo woo woo, blah 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 blah. So at this point, it's either do something dumb, which I'm not gonna do nothing dumb, or flight. So, pew, I took flight. Man, and it was like they already had a sting ready or something for us because it was other jump outs in other directions, I guess ready for one of us to run or something, just in case. Like it was tactical. It was like, but me not knowing that, I took off running, hit the corner. I ain't gonna lie. I threw the strap on the roof. The roof was like triangle shape, so they didn't see me do that while I hit the corner, and I can hear the gun sliding down the roof as I'm continue to run. I'm running. This police officer that's chasing me cannot catch me. I run all the way up to a certain point where they were already right there, and they drew the gun at me. So it was like, what the hell? I'm dusting this other police officer though, and it begins to rain. So it's like a bad day. It starts to rain, and in the midst of all this coming, the gun was sliding down the roof, and it ended up falling in the flower pot, and fell in the flower pot. So guys drawing the gun at me. I stop, put my hands up. I don't want to get shot because they will shoot your ass. You see how the police do us. The guy was chasing me, out of breath, and he's angry. I was sprinting on his ass. He's angry. He tackled me while I got my back towards him and hit me with a hit stick. Boom, whoosh. So I'm only like, I'm a skinny nigga, man. I don't weigh that much. This big ass, that shit hurt it. And they like, why you run? At this time, weed is illegal. It's still illegal. 2012, yeah, weed is still legal. I said, man, I had a little bag of weed on me. Something, something they just throw out. And it was like, so you running from that? It's like whatever I say, they ain't believe me. But I was like, man, I said what I said. Like, leave me alone. At this point, they got me sitting in the rain, handcuffed with my hand on the back, and it's like, and they had brung like, I want to say probably like 15 more police officers for just chasing me. I'm like, what the fuck was I, a suspect or something? Was I like, at the time I had a little popularity. I was rapping and stuff. Started rapping in like 2010, 2011. I had a nice little buzz. Like, it wasn't really that many rappers back then in DC. It wasn't even cool to rap or anything. Everybody was on go-go. Go-go is it's music in DC. It's a culture. It's like bands and stuff. But I get into that later. But so they had me out there for like 30 minutes. 15 police officers out there for little old me. And eventually they was like, "Yep, we got it." And I'm like, "Got what?" And they was like, "They found a gun." And it ended up falling from the roof to a flower pot. Up. From there, they was asking me questions. I was like, I need a lawyer. I ain't say nothing from there on. And once they found that, and it's my first charge, so I don't really know nothing about anything. So I just knew not to say nothing regardless. I didn't say anything. And in my head, I'm thinking I'm about to do, because I didn't know some friends that, got caught with a gun and, was in there for about 6 or 9 months. But see, this is me not knowing the law and stuff like that. So in my head, I'm preparing myself mentally, to sit for half a year to 9 months. But see, this was the thing. What I learned while I was in DC jail. When you get caught for a gun, you just get an automatic 3-day hold. And it was my first charge, so it was nothing to worry about. In the court, uh, they gave me a plea deal, and the plea deal was, no jail time, just a year probation. And in my head, I never been in jail or anything. I'm like, shit, I'll take that. And I was talking to my lawyer who I had, and I think he had like the crazy thing is I had a good lawyer. He was like public defender, but he was doing it all pro bono. So I had a good lawyer that could have probably beat the case for me, but once I heard shit, no jail time, just a year probation, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't smoke. Yeah, I don't smoke, by the way. I've been quit that. I quit that in 2009. I've been do that away. It was 2012. So if they drug test me, I know I would pass it every time, and I just gotta stay out of trouble for a year. Shit, give me that. But I just want to tell y'all now, y'all. So I took the plea, and I just want to say now, if the sweeter the plea is, meaning the less the plea is, like you think it's good for you to take a plea, they just wanted a conviction. And to them, that's a win for them in court. The easier the plea deal is the easier you probably could have beat the case. Because at the end of the day, I learned later on in life, as I got wiser, that I could have beat the case. First of all, they harassed me. I didn't do anything unlawful. They didn't find the gun on my person. So that could have been anybody's gun. You know what I'm saying? They could have planted it there for one. So just keep in mind, y'all. I know you just want to go home and sometimes you just want to get it over with. But having a certain type of charge, especially one you can beat, you know, it hinders you from stuff. Like, even though, and what's so sweet about my deal, they changed it. It was just a misdemeanor, you know, even though like having a gun, they charge you for like three different stuff: having an unregistered firearm, unregistered ammunition, and something else. Like, they just be making up goofy shit when it should just be one charge. That's how they do most black people in America. They charge you with one thing and they try to take one charge and turn it into at least six, 3 to 6 of them. Like, and that's like real life. Anybody that's been through the system know what I'm talking about. So anything that seemed like a sweet plea deal, more than likely you can beat it. They just want to throw something sweet out. So at the end of the day, that's a win in the justice system for the prosecutor, because a plea is still a conviction, even if you plea no contest. It still goes in your record. People, when you try to go look for a job, people, even if it's not a felony, people will look at a gun charge. I'm like, nah, he had a gun charge. They don't want to hire you, you know, and that could later on mess up your life with certain type of jobs. But me, I never had a job that paid me well in my life. So I became an entrepreneur. It's got to be in you, not on you. Became an entrepreneur, and that's the most money I ever made in my life, becoming an entrepreneur, working for myself instead of the white man. Black kids buy Jordans, crackhead buy crack, and a white man get paid off for all of that. Hey, and that ain't the truth. But I just want to say from what I know now, if it's any, young guys, any young niggas probably listening to this. Matter of fact, if you listen to this and you know any young niggas listening to this, send them this story because this is what I want y'all to know. Like, if you don't have any charges and you want to tote a gun, you could do it legally now. Like, it literally costs less than a pair of Jordans to get your concealed gun license. It costs less than $200, maybe like 180. I don't even remember. I didn't paid and got a certificate for it and all that now. But I'm just saying, you could legally tote your strap or your dog. Like they set it up. They don't teach us how to, defend ourselves legally. They want us to have, if you don't live like in Texas where you could just have a gun and you don't have to have to show proof of registration or nothing like that. If you live somewhere else, man, get it and you don't got no charges, man, find out, do your research and find out how to get a gun legally. It don't cost that much. And most people offer training for it. Like, do your research so you can get that, man. Like, don't be out here lacking with the law. Like, at the end of the day, it's fuck the police. Forget the police, I meant. Cause I want this video to, I want the kids to be able to see this video. So I'm gonna take out the cuss. I'm gonna bleep the cuss words and all that. But yeah, man, how I feel about guns is it's a tool, you know, and sometimes you need to fix things. So it's good to have tools when something is broken. You know what I'm saying? Like a hammer and nails in your house or something like that. That don't mean like just because you have one, don't try to go rob a bank or rob nobody. And just remember, it's easy to pull a trigger. It's harder to have self control. But yeah, if you don't got no previous convictions of anything, man, go get your gun license, man, so you can tote and protect yourself out here legally. But yep, that happened to me. That was 11 years ago, man. Crazy, right? But it's your boy Remix Reek. It's Panache Talk Podcast, and this was story time, man. I look forward to for y'all viewing again, man. Make sure y'all fuck with it. Make sure y'all mess with me and like, subscribe, and comment.